Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do an everyday makeup with all of my favorite products that I showed you in the previous video where I did what's in my makeup bag. Let's get down to it. If you want to see the products that I'm using, I suggest you watch my other video because I'm not going to explain it again. Now I'm going to apply foundation. So I always do 1.5 pumps. So while you blend, you can softly brush it against your skin, but mostly dab it in if you want coverage. I want coverage, like for instance on my chin, which is very red, my nose and my forehead, I am mostly dabbing because I want the coverage, but on my cheeks, I don't want so much coverage because I have freckles and I think they look super cute. So I am mostly swiping, but it's very light, like I do this. I do this against my skin. And so now what I personally do is I powder my forehead straight ahead because my forehead streaks. You can see it's already streaking like crazy. So first thing I do before anything else is powder my forehead with my powder and my powder puff. Now, before concealer, I want to apply my liquid blush. And so I like to place it pretty high on my cheek. It depends how you want your face to look. If you want to have a very lifted face, you should place it where I'm placing it, which is really close to the outside of my eye and very high on the cheeks and up to the temples. If you want more of a round face, you should place it on the apple of your cheek. If you want a normal looking face, you can just apply it here without dragging it up, but I want to lift my face. So I am applying it very, very high up to the temples, the outer corner of my eye. And I'm not going further than half of my eye, as you can see. It's better to put less product than you want and then build it up slowly than putting a blob of blush on your face and then it's too much and you can't blend it. You have to remove and restart. So again, I am slightly swiping and then dabbing for coverage. Now I'm going to put my concealer. So I personally only put it underneath my eyes. So I like to apply it here and then drag it really in the inner corner to hide the blue circles. Because if you can see, there's also, like it's dark up to here. So we want to hide that, not just underneath, but as well on top. And now we blend. So I use a round blush and then with concealer, I mostly tap. I don't want to drag it because I want the coverage to be. So under the eye, I really dab it. And then the only place where I'm going to swipe is into the blush. Because I want to blend that in the blush, I can as well take my blush brush and blend it more. And then quickly take the powder with a puff or brush. I like a puff. And powder before it creases. Okay, now that this is done, I'm gonna take the butt of my powder puff and powder my whole face. I always put a lot of powder, so I'm gonna wipe it with my powder brush to just kind of wipe off the excess powder. Now, what I like to do at this stage of the makeup is to put a first layer of setting spray to make sure my face is set before I go on and apply eyes and other bronzer and blush, etc. I find it that my makeup stays on longer if I apply 2 coats of setting spray. Now, while this is drying, I'm going to do my brows. First, I go in with the pencil. I use a little brush at the end to brush through my brows. And then I'm going to pencil them in. So first, I outline underneath my brows. And then on top. And then I fill the inside where I want more color. And then I take the brush again. Then I blend the front and brush through the eyebrows to check I haven't missed a spot. And then once that is done, I'm going to take the eyebrow gel. I like for it to stick. I'm going to go against the hair growth, to really coat the hairs, and then I'm going to place them where I want them. Okay, now for eyes, I will apply the eye primer with my brush. Again, I'm going to tap, not drag, because I want the coverage. So I go all the way to the inner corner in the nose, and the outer corner I can go on top of the blush, no problem. Now we are going to take the palette, so I will be using the Glamlite X Twilight palette. What I usually do for my eyes is kind of a smoky liner. So for that, first we use a kohl, so it's the technical liner from MAC. And I will blend it using this round brush. So I am just going to place this first on my upper waterline. Can you see the difference it makes? And then I'm going to apply this on the outer corner, like this, just on a third of my lid on the outer corner, and then just blend it using this brush, like this, but trying to stay pretty close to the eye. I can drag it out a little bit. I can drag it up, but I want to follow. You should take your lower waterline and then draw. Like, take your brush and then place it like this, and it should follow like the curve. And this is where I will blend out my kohl liner, because this is how, like, what liner shape my eye should have. You place your brush like this, and so I go up like this. And the best way is to do it with your eyes open, because with your eyes closed, the shape changes. So always apply it with your eye open. I like to do it first with a pencil because I like to have my shape pre-drawn, so I know where to put my shadows. I think it's a really useful tip if you don't know where to go with your shadows. Now we are going to take a fluffy brush, but not too fluffy. I will take Jacob, and I will draw my crease. So what you should do is if you have eyes like me, you should draw your crease with your eyes open, because if you do this, then you will want to apply it in your crease here, which is not what we're going to do. We want to lift our eyes and create a new shape. So you open your eyes and you place the shadow. And see, if you close your eyes, you're going to see, wow, you're going to think it's too high, but it's not. It's where you want your crease to be. So if you look the difference between this eye and this eye already looks way more open, because I am drawing my crease with my eyes open. The trick is to put makeup on with your eyes open, because we want our makeup to look good when we have our eyes open, because we want to look people in the eyes. We don't want to talk to them like this, right? So do your makeup with your eyes open. And so I'm just working the crease, applying as much color as I want, intensity as I want. Okay, so now what I want to do, since I did my crease, I want to darken a little bit. So I am not going to use the black. I'm going to use the dark brown here with my flat brush. And then I will place it like this. So again, with my eye open, I will place it like this. So it looks weird. It looks weird if I close my eye. But if I open it, it looks good. So I place it. And then using the same brush and the same shade, I will blend that in the crease. And then I'm dragging it here underneath the brow and a bit out. And then using what's left on the brush, I will start to drag my lower lash line. So again, I'm only going a third of my eye underneath, like this, because I want my eye to be lifted, not dragged down. Using the same brush, fluffy end, and blending that. See, it's easy, right? Okay, now before we apply shimmery shadows, I'm going to take a pack which is slightly lighter, and I'm just going with a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to drag that all around my eye, so like this, to kind of blend the whole look together. So now for shimmers, what I like to do is take my eye base brush again, and there's always a little bit of product left, and just kind of dab it in the inner corner to kind of use what's left of the product to make sure the glitters stick a bit more. I'm going to take a flat, fluffy brush, if that makes sense. And the colors depend. If you want something if you want something light. Since I have blue eyes, the orange tones, so this would look really nice. But like if you want a light look, you should use, for instance, this one, because that'll highlight your eye. But since I have blue eyes, like the copper tones look really nice. And the thing is, since I use a fluffy brush, it has a not light coverage, but it's easier to blend because it's already on a fluffy brush. And then I can blend it, and then I drag it all the way up to the brow. See, it's very discreet. If I want more intensity, I take my finger, because there's nothing better than your finger for shimmery shadows. I apply it where I want the intensity to be. But since I blended the first coat, I can take the brush and just kind of blend the edges of that shimmery shadow. And then for the inner corner, I take the lighter shade. And again, with a fluffy brush, I'm going to apply it really in my inner corner like this. And also underneath here, to really brighten my eyes and lighten the look. You can also apply it underneath your brow bone if you wish. And you can also kind of drag it up like this to really give it a good glow. Okay, now that this is done, I will go ahead and put my first coat of mascara, because I always like to put 2 coats. So first coat of mascara. So I really roll the brush from the outside to the inside. Like I roll my brush like this. Outside to inside, and I repeat this movement until I am satisfied with how my lashes look. And while my first coat of mascara is drying down, I will put bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So bronzer, again, I want to lift my face, so I'm going to apply it pretty high and then drag it all the way to the temples. Like, see? This line that we used to do in 2016, where we used to put bronzer here, I want to put it over it, like on top. So see this line, this crease? I want my bronzer to be above that line. And then for my nose, then I kind of drag it in the brow. And then for my chin, I just go like this. I don't really want to define my jawline more than anything, so I don't. But you can if you like. And then if you want more blush, you can. I'm just going to put a little bit. So again, very high. I like to apply it here. And here. And on the tip of my nose. And on my chin. And then highlighter. So it's the Glamlite. So I don't like blinding highlighter. I just want a few reflects. And then on the nose. Second coat of mascara. So same thing. Rolling the brush from outside to inside. Now for lips. Lip liner. Just a little bit. I'm not going to define my whole mouth. Just I want to define kind of the inside of the mouth, and then the outside is a bit more blurry. I don't really like to overline my lips, so I don't. You could use a brush to blend it, but I like this. And then gloss, it's the Glamlite one, the Eye of Sauron. A little bit of setting spray, and we're done. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on my everyday look. Please tell me in the comments, what do you do as your steps or for your everyday makeup, or what would you like to do, or anything, because this is my day-to-day makeup. I usually wear more colorful looks, but I also like a more subtle and glamorous makeup. So please tell me in the comments if you like it and what do you wear. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.